All right, let's begin. Let's dive in. I'll introduce myself once again. My name is Edwin Moise. I'll be your host for today. And as always, we are on this journey together to demystify how to earn and make money online. I'm really humbled that you're taking this journey with me, and I promise you, you will not regret it. Please, now that I have you here, do not forget to hit the subscribe button, as you'll see it right below our topic for today, or on the screen, the red button on the lower bottom right of your screen. This is important so that you never miss out on any updates as we go along this journey. Today's topic is about the 10 different ways you can actually start to earn money online without necessarily having a degree. That doesn't negate the fact that you are a graduate, but there could be a student there, or you could be looking to change careers, or you might even want to just have an entry point as opposed to doing your day job. Sometimes the flavor is really good to be able to do something different, something you enjoy, as opposed to what you already do in your day-to-day 8 to 5 job. So that's why we are looking at this, and you will find that in many cases, such jobs are the ones that act as your entry point. Because think about it, if you are, say, an engineer, if you're a journalist, true, you are good at all this stuff, but on the online world, or in the online world, you do not have much to show for it. In this cyberspace, what you only have to show for are your reviews, the number of hours you've worked, who can vouch for you on this platform. So many times it's not that you're not qualified enough to go after the work you've studied for, or the work you're professionally doing. It's just because you need an entry point to get the hours, to get the experience, to get people that can vouch for you independently. And that's why we are looking at this, because personally, I'll say I have finance background, but I started out as a content creator. I started out as a virtual assistant. And once I had enough hours under my belt, then I really started to compete for the stuff that my training has taught me how to do. Right. Our topics for today, the 10 different items are listed here. We have a summary of them. We'll keep revisiting them. And the way we are going to flow is we are going to pick out one. I'll show you the available work out there on Upwork, and I'll just expound a bit on some of those that might seem a bit foreign to you. So in a quick nutshell, this is what we have available. I feel there's a lot more, but this is stuff that I believe anyone could very easily pick out at least 3 or 4 of these items and be able to comfortably do. I will say, to do this and to stand out doing this, you need to have soft skills. Now, soft skills are those things that you probably did not learn at the university, or that you did not graduate for, but the expectation is that you picked up along the way, either in your professional life or somewhere along your working lifespan. Some of these soft skills will include things like touch typing. They will include your knowledge of various task management applications. I'll share links with those some other day, but you must be able to use at least Slack, Teams, Asana. You must have a good understanding of how Zoom works, work etiquette, like keeping time, expressing yourself really well, having a good command of an official language, both written and spoken. These are soft skills that many times we overlook, and they are so critical in this very competitive space, because it's what stands out, it's what makes you stand out against all the competition. Keep in mind, for this work, whereas it's easy to start, it's also very competitive, because when you find work, you'll be competing with people in the Philippines who will cutthroat price you. You'll be competing with people in India. You'll be competing with people in the US. So you have one shot many times and to stand out and to leave a mark. All right, so without further ado, let's dive in. The first one is quite simple or quite basic, and I believe you have a decent understanding of it. Data entry, right? Let me just, I'll be going to Upwork so that we get live scenarios of this stuff, and you get a feel of what it feels like to actually compete and do this kind of work. Thank you. I see many of you are still joining us. As always, it's a very big pleasure to have you with us. You should be seeing this stuff on your screen now in a few. Right. So now we are on the Upwork platform, and I assume at this stage you've been able to look at some of my previous videos about Payoneer, about how you can make money online and the different streams. So while we're here, please make sure you acquaint yourself with that stuff and with my previous videos as well. So this is Upwork. I will be sharing a video with you early morning tomorrow on how to sign up on Upwork. But please keep in mind that these videos are sequential in nature, in that by the time we are premiering this one, I believe that you've been able to catch up and actually implement the things that we've talked about in the previous videos. So consider yourselves very fortunate if you've actually done that, because to be left behind is a very, very big risk, and then you very highly will fall off from the rest of the pack. So this is Upwork, and our first item that we looked at was really data entry. Once you're on Upwork, you can always go in the search area. Don't worry about how you join and all that, because I'll be providing a video very clear tutorial on how you can join and sign up for Upwork. So don't stress yourself about how did I get here and all that, and there'll be a very in-depth video to hold your hand to get to this stage. So let's look at data entry. Like I said, this could range from just entering data in a spreadsheet. It could be migrating data manually. It could be copywriting. There are so many different businesses out there that need data entry skills. It's low-key, but there's plenty of work. That's the advantage for it. For example, you will find maybe a hospital has hard copy documents, and they would like you to go ahead and find and transform that data or copy that data into a Word document, into an Excel document, and that kind of thing. That's very tedious work, and it will be cheap per hour, but then it will really ride on your skill and your speed at typing. So again, one of the soft skills I spoke about, which was touch typing, is very important. In fact, for many of these, it is not uncommon to be given a typing speed test. So if your typing speed is below maybe 30 words per minute, chances are you will not qualify for this job. So those are soft skills. Polish your typing, polish your speed, because for such work, it's how fast that you do it that will determine how much you earn. But that said, let's look at a few examples. This is the first one. Hey, simple data entry, you must have a LinkedIn account with 1,000 connections. 5-minute work, I pay you $10. I need 100 plus people. Keep in mind, this task repeats itself every week. So some of this work is actually very repetitive. In fact, if you do so well at it, there's a very, very high chance that you can make this your niche, get other people that can provide you with assistance, and then you will have a highly earning job all the time. It's repetitive, and you can build and scale up from that. Let's look at some other work. Documents typing. Needs to hire 99 freelancers. I need active freelancers to retype my screenshot document into Microsoft Word document. Again, very easy, no degree required there, fairly simple. It's how fast you do it that actually determines how much you end up earning. And this one, they're actually willing to pay you about $15 to $30 an hour. That's their budget. So you can imagine about 10 hours of doing this work, or even if you're in a week, even if you do this every 2 or 3 hours when you get back home, you will be earning about $30 to $45 very, very easy money to make, though really competitive. We'll look at one more example. Let's take a look at this. Good Typist. Again, the budget is between $15 to $30. What you see as intermediate is really their assessment of the person that should apply. So in other words, these people are not looking for people that are just learning how to type. These people are looking for people that are really fast or know how to do this work. So chances are, if you, this kind of person will give you a typing speed test somewhere along the way, and that will help him sieve out who is up for the task and who is not. So if you don't make the cut, how do you improve your typing speed? I'll be sharing different links on how you can actually, how you can speed up your typing. Next, we are going to go to transcribing. Right. So with transcribing, I think you probably, many of you have probably heard of this, not practiced it so much, but transcribing is really the act of taking an audio message and putting it in Word document. Of course, nowadays we have all sorts of smart apps that will do like narrator. It will just listen to the voice of somebody and then it will type it out. But it does have its shortcomings because, for example, if someone is having an accent, rather than have narrator botch that, they would rather go ahead and pay someone to listen in and type out that stuff. So that's the importance right there of transcribing. And there's a lot of work out there for transcribing as well. Let's just search for it within this. Please, for those of us joining, welcome. Do post your questions at the end of the session when we open up the floor for Q&A. You type them in the chat and I'll be able to tackle as many of them as I can. You can even type them as of now. We'll be able to go through those and hopefully you derive some value from that aspect. I'll just type in transcribing over here. So this is again just to give you a taste and feel of what the different jobs I'm talking about would require. Again, transcribing, as you can imagine, only requires you have a computer, stable internet, no degree whatsoever, no qualifications, but your speed and your other soft skills would really matter as well. So take a look at this, the first one, call note taker, stroke transcriber. We are looking for an extremely detail-oriented transcriber stroke meeting note taker to join our growing company. You will listen to calls, stroke meetings, recordings, and extract the key contents into digital documentation or convert them into text format, the true definition of transcribing, right? So it goes on to mention a few stuff, but then they say ability to type quickly and accurately while proofreading, excellent grammar, spelling, and punctuation skills. These are some of the key things they are looking for, right? And of course, as you keep going, you'll find some of the other soft skills I was talking about. Ability to use Asana. Asana is another project management or task management tool. You need to know some G Suite. That's also another one. So all these come together, even if you don't require a college degree. There are soft skills. There are platforms that you want to acquaint yourself with. Luckily, a lot of them have free or unpaid versions. Acquaint yourself with them because now, as you can tell, having such knowledge is the actual plus to getting this work. Keep note of what I had mentioned earlier. This work seems easy, but it's fiercely competitive. If you look at the bottom of my screen, you will tell that there are about 20 to 50 applicants for this very job. And it was posted about less than a day ago, 20 to 50 applicants. That's a lot more competition than you'll get going into a local job interview. Thing here is you need to be able to stand out. And in the future series, we'll talk about how to write the winning proposal. How do you stand out from a crowd to get that job, even when everyone else is competing for it? And as you can tell, the pay is really little, but the workload is significant. So your ability to balance out those two is super, super critical. I'll look at one more job for transcribing, and I believe you would really have got the idea of what transcribing entails. Of course, some are a function of translation, which we'll discuss. Let's look at data entry work, copying. We are seeking a detail-oriented and efficient data entry specialist to join our team. In this role, you will be responsible for accurately transcribing and inputting data into our electronic system. So you can imagine like a grocery store. They probably have lots and lots and lots of receipts, or they fail to recover their system. They'll probably task you to enter data from receipts into an Excel spreadsheet. Again, fairly straightforward, but because it's straightforward, you see there's a lot of competition. Over 50 people have applied. So you will really need to know how to stand out in a very, very short period of time. Okay, moving on to content creation. Content creation is more a talent, but it depends really. They have so many different categories of content creation. The first one is, of course, creative writing or article writing, which you must have a knack for. You either enjoy writing or are really good at it, or you don't do a good job at all. There are other aspects as well, like copywriting, where all you're really doing is rephrasing a particular article. It's very big in organic marketing. So let's look at some of the different types of content creation out there. I'll just go back here. I filtered some of them so that we can easily pick them out. Okay. Let's look at content writing. Now, this is for people who enjoy writing. It could be a long article of about 1,000 words. It could be short weekly articles of 500 words. It could be social media posts or populating data on a website. What really worked for me when I was starting out was academic writing, because a high percentage of you actually do have a dissertation that you worked on. Assuming you did it yourself, you will have decent experience in that. And when you apply for this work, having a sample to share already puts you a head and shoulder above everybody else you're competing with. So when I was starting out, I would apply for this content creation work or academic writing work, and I would share my dissertation because it's mine. I have all the rights to it. When you share that, you immediately stand out, because most people will just really talk about how good they are at writing, but will have no sample work to show. If you have a lot of other sample work, even better. Or if you've worked in a related fields, do share that information, because you have one shot to stand out. So look at this one. An ebook. Someone is requesting an ebook writer. Formulating assignments in accordance with prescribed specifications, editing assignments to ensure that they are accurate and well presented, liaising with a line manager to clarify assignment-related expectations as needed. So again, this is really a writing job. And look at how much people are actually spending on content writing. Expedia expert needed to edit a bio profile on Wiki. This person has actually spent $10,000 on content writing. So they just put out work like this. And if you find such a person and you're really good, I'll say there's a very high chance that that person will actually hire you. I'll tell you a story in relation to this. One of my very, very first clients for content writing ended up working with me for 8 months. And we were doing about 5 articles per week. Obviously, I had a day job. I could not do all that work myself. So what we ended up doing was creating another company in its own, where I interface with the people, but I have so many other people around me. That was in the days before Upwork had an agency sort of model. Now with an agency sort of model, you can actually do this legitimately, where it's a team of people and they all work together. And this work, like I said, if you find people, this guy has spent 10,000, this guy has spent 20,000, just creating content for travel and hospitality. So this kind of people will employ you really long term. And as you can tell, this one is paying $20 to $40 per hour. We'll talk about the important in my video that I'll post tomorrow. I'll talk about pricing strategies. So in this area, there's, as you can tell, plenty of work, plenty of repetitive work. Again, the gist is whether you're talented enough to, or you either enjoy it, or you actually have experience to stand out in this kind of thing. But again, no degree required. All right. Next, we'll go to translation. Now, I've been asked by plenty of people, what do you translate to? Because many times your local dialect is not necessarily something many people would want to translate to. I'll tell you, there are many, by being mostly Africans, we do benefit by being multilingual. So chances are any of you here or many of you speak at least 2 different languages. And many of you will probably speak in the East African region would speak Kiswahili. There's a lot of work out there for such skills. Translating can just be giving you an audio where you have to listen in and translate what the people are saying. I had some good friends where that would actually go around the continent doing this kind of work because they started out on Upwork, and now whenever there were big conferences, they were lucky because they could do French, English, and Portuguese. So big companies would always hire them to go around in conferences and do the interpretation. So this actually came from being an online job to being an offline job and a full-time job as well. So I'll give you an example of translation. Let's see. Normally, I would run into, every once in a while, I run into someone looking for Kiswahili interpretation. Let me just type it and see whether there are any. So the Swahili transcription, we discussed it. You're listening in and typing. Translation could be live, or in this case, you're not necessarily writing it down, but you're interpreting it or what is being said. Or you could just be translating a letter, a document, a novel, and that kind of work. So let's see whether we have anything in Kiswahili translation. So we have some work in here. Let's see if we have Swahili in. Okay. Let's take a look at the first example. Full-time translators needed. I need translators who can translate the following languages into English. 2 translators for Vietnamese, 2 translators for Turkish, 2 translators for Thai, 2 translators for Swahili. So for my East African friends, if you're fluent in Swahili, this is work for you. It's quite a niche area because you can imagine how many people know Hindi and Swahili. So chances are very few of you would actually be competing for the Swahili work, which is good because you don't have to work too hard. By just virtue of knowing the language, you're beating competition from all the other regions in Africa. I'll look for another social media assistant, Swahili and English. This person is paying $150 for this work to be done, and they spent about $6,000 in total on Upwork for similar work. We need assistance with social media engagement and interacting with audience via comments in Swahili. So this is probably a company in Kenya or Tanzania or Uganda, and they want to benefit from being multilingual because they are dealing with the local population. But there it is again, translating from English to Swahili, you must have the skills. What you see below here are the skills they want you to be having, right? So you'll see minus not being able to translate from Swahili to English, you must have some decent understanding or good command of social media management. Of course, English is a must as well in this particular case. So as you can see now, this person needs a Swahili proofreader. So these are areas you really want to double down to if you're going to be a translator, because these places have a lot less competition than someone saying from French to English. Because from French to English, you won't even be among the top French speakers in this docket, right? So that's translation. I'm gonna take a big risk and see whether I can find anything in Luganda. Time and again, I do find someone requesting Luganda translation. Let's see. Uganda Nansana. So this is not for translation, but there's work actually for people that are specific to Uganda. And this is very easy work and very good work to compete for because it has been saved by geographical constraint. If the person is really interested in only people applying from Uganda, you're in the top 1%, because anybody applying outside of Uganda will not be able to do any work. In this case, it's market research and we'll be able to go into this kind of thing. So I wasn't able to find, there's a Chiwewa and Luganda voice over talent. This person is in Egypt, right? Hello, hello, kindly, we need to check your availability for the task below. Voiceover female language, I think they're probably translating to Luganda. Voiceover is where you do probably like an advert. There's an advert, and then you're doing the voice behind that advert. So they, for whatever reason, these people are interested in somebody being able to do a voiceover in Luganda, must be a female. But again, you can see that if you're a female Luganda speaking freelancer, you have a 60 or 70% chance of getting this work, because hey, it knocks out all the men, knocks out all the people living outside Uganda, knocks out all the people who do not even know how to speak Luganda. So such opportunities are what is required. Oh look, Luganda transcription. We will use LOF 2.0. So again, you need to be knowing what what platform that is, or what application that is. Pay rate is set at $30 per valid video of audio, per valid hour of audio. Sorry about that. Now, per valid hour. So your etiquette comes in here. If you have a barking dog, a wailing child in these recordings, chances are that won't really score as a valid hour of audio. So the professionalism on Upwork is really top notch. You have one chance to deliver, and the moment you drop the bar, you're out of that game, and you get a bad review. And reviews are what really differentiates you from the rest of the crowd. We are hiring, let's just complete it. We are hiring fast for this, but we expect at least 30 minutes of audio a day from all transcribers. So you can imagine, if you're at home, you're a student, you have some free time, you have a day job, but you have some time and you want to make better use of your time when you're at home, these people would be requiring about 30 minutes of audio recordings every single day, right? So which means at minimum, they'll be paying you about $15, because the total is $30 for an hour. $15 for every valid 30 minutes of your time. You know, you could do this just before you watch the news or before you have your dinner. So that is work that's repetitive. That is work that, remember, at the getting, it's not even so much about how much you're earning. You should be really desperate to have these hours under your belt, to have this experience under your belt, because the Upwork search algorithm will always showcase the people that are performing, the people that have movement on their accounts, not the people that left their accounts dormant. Okay, so I think you have a feel. So even there's Luganda in there, there's probably Rwandese in here, there's Kiswahili in here. These are, you only go for work where you have a competitive edge. And for those trying to go after transcribing or translating, I really encourage you to take up such opportunities, because the competition is a lot less in that area. Right, now we're going to go to customer service. And I think this, you also understand very well. We all have had a bad day calling a telecommunications provider or internet provider, or calling our bank. Now, the people that sit on the other end are really customer service. But more importantly, the world has gone digital. It doesn't only stop on such entities. You will find that big websites like Amazon, not even so big, hotels have customer management, Airbnbs and properties have customer management. A lot of websites, I think you've probably seen this, where as you visit a website, there's a pop-up. Many times it will be a bot or a robot, but a lot of times you can escalate and actually quickly land on a customer service agent on a website. I think even local banks are having it now, because it's very important that the lead time between when you raise your query and when it's addressed is really short. Otherwise, they will lose you to the competition. So in this world of digital migration, there are tons and tons of websites, tons and tons of hotels, tons and tons of social media agencies out there that do need people to be on standby, clock in during a shift, and be their customer management agents. So I'll quickly search customer management and see what we come up with. So again, no degree necessarily, but you must have a good command of the language that they will be requesting you to have. Granted, there will be some agents here or some clients that require that English is your first language, because probably they will imagine that your accent would be really difficult to say do customer service for an auto parts website in the US. Maybe they might feel you might struggle or have an accent to really give directions to somebody in London as the customer agent for a particular hotel. That's partly true, but in my experience, our English or whatever language you speak, if well articulated, will not be very difficult to answer to. In fact, case in point, a lot of the times nowadays, for those that travel, you will find the people either providing support or checkout support will be probably Filipino or Indians. And nothing against my Indian friends, but their accent is not exactly native either. So if you can articulate your words enough, that shouldn't be a blocker for you. Besides the point, you do not even have to speak. It could be live chat. All you have to do is clock in on your shift, sit on the other end, and people that join, you probably have a script somewhere where you can support them and direct them to the right place. That doesn't even require your accent. It just requires that you can type fast. It requires that you follow instructions well. It requires that you're professional and you can keep time every day, day in, day out, clock in onto your shift at the right time every single day and not have excuses. That's how high-paced this kind of work is. But the beauty with it is it's repetitive. You can do 2 or 3 jobs. I have a colleague who manages over 100 properties. In other words, she stays in Uganda, but she manages hotels and properties in Las Vegas and in London. So when someone calls in London asking for directions, she receives the phone call here in Uganda, and she has a script. She'll give directions. She'll auto-generate password logins or access logins to the properties and that kind of stuff. So it's a complete global village. You can't be in Uganda working and providing support as a customer support or management agent all over the world. Let's look at some of the work that's available. I like to, so you'll start acquainting yourself with this as we go, but you will see that the stuff that is highlighted are the key skills that are required for this job. For example, customer support manager. Beetroot Academy is on a mission to help people have great careers in the digital economy. We believe that in the 21st century, everyone deserves access to professional education, blah, 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 right? But let's look to the part that they require you. Oh my God, this is really long. But you will be handling a CRM. CRM is a customer relationship management system. You will pick up a lot of this jargon. You must be able to use Google Forms. You must be well motivated. And here they tell you you will be coordinating with the account management team via adding students to the groups and all that kind of stuff. So you'll be supporting really in enrolling students. But key skills they want: customer support, communication etiquette. Now, this is overlooked many times, but your ability to handle a disgruntled customer, your ability to remain professional even when a customer on the other side is frustrating you, your ability to speak clearly and articulate your issues in a very short period of time matters a lot. So that's one of the skills. And then, of course, customer support. We'll look at one other one for customer support. Community manager, probably require you. We are looking for a business development specialist to join our sales department. I'm looking at this one over here. Particles Global provides IT outsourcing services, focusing on the markets of Europe, of European countries, and the US. We provide several models of cooperation to our customers already serving clients from Sweden, etc. So again, this is a support role. Key skills required: lead generation, sales lead lists, social media lead generation. A lot of these soft skills, we will be looking into them, but customer support is fairly straightforward. So we'll be moving on to our next one. Our next one is social media marketing. Now I enjoy this because everyone nowadays believes they are social media specialists, don't they? The bright side to that is that a lot of the applications that you're supposed to use, you're probably well acquainted with. You have an Instagram, you have a YouTube channel, you have a Facebook, you have Twitter. So the advantage here is you will most likely know what it takes, right? So social media management in this aspect is not just posting fancy pictures here and there. It goes a long way. You actually have deliverables. You must have a social media strategy. That one may most likely be handed to you by the company, or it may be at a strategic level, and you are tasked with meeting the tactical needs that will get you to the long-term plan of that organization. I'll give you an example. If I manage a restaurant, and the plan is for me to pull in young people, that's my strategic plan. As a social media manager or marketeer, I need to be able to have a strategy on how I am going to get people interested about this restaurant, how to keep them engaged, how to remain relevant. Because as you all know, social media is all about rankings. The more people like your stuff, the more it will be ranked in the top stories. So you need to be thinking all these things through before you apply for this job. Let's take a look at some of them. Social media manager. We are a well-established bridal designer in Austria, helping brides to design their own dream gowns since 2005. We are looking for you will generate social media marketing strategies, like I was mentioning, and create our online presence and improve community engagement. Okay. Developing and executing social media plans for audience engagement and growth. These are some of the tasks. Create, edit, and publish engaging content and monitor social media campaigns. So you are no stranger to social media, but if you have only 2 followers on Instagram, if you have like about 20 family members as your Facebook friends, you really want to take interest. There's a lot of content out there on social media marketing. My advice to you is to pick a niche. Don't try to master all of them at once. Okay, they call it being a jack of all trades and being a master of none. Master 1 or 2 and really know the deep stuff about it. Because what happens when you apply or when you go in for an interview with such a client is they'll ask you for about all this stuff, and you can probably say a thing or two about a lot of them, but you must have your key points and say, I'm really good with Instagram, I'm really good with Twitter, and you pick out your 2 items and go a mile deep with those two things. So that gives them confidence, because you're not just coming across as someone who can do everything. They say, what can you do for us? And you say, I can do everything. No, you say, my strategy is to actually lead with Facebook and Twitter. Maybe I'm really good at that stuff. Maybe I'm really good with TikTok. You say, I have a preference for this, because it gives a lot of confidence in consulting if an applicant actually has a choice, if they have a direction they lean towards. It may not even align with what the client wants to lead with, but they respect that you actually have your skills honed out. Okay, picking one more and then we'll move on. Again, another one is over here for social media management. Social media manager. This person is willing to pay about $15 to $75. Hi, my name is Craig Curran. I'm the CEO of Flava Pouches. We are the first UK manufactured tobacco-free nicotine pouch. We are looking for someone to head our social media marketing. So, of course, assuming what they are asking you to market aligns with your moral compass. Otherwise, there's work here. We have learned a lot of lessons over the last few years. So basically, a lot of these people want someone who will hit the ground running. They don't have time for you to wing it or for you to figure it out. They'll be very specific, they'll be very direct, or you will not make the cut. Okay, so that's that about social media management. I will have a Q&A towards the end. So prepare your questions, or if you like, go ahead and post them now. I will be addressing them because we are almost winding up over here. For those of us that have joined us, please don't forget to hit subscribe so that you get live updates. This is going to be the mode we operate in. The beauty with listening to a live stream over a recorded stream is that you get to ask your questions in real time, as opposed to those that will ask after the fact. I do my level best to get to them, but it won't always be a guarantee. All right, that said, let's move on to web research. Web research seems a bit vague, but it's very, very important. I'll give you some examples from my own experience. One of my first jobs was to identify competitors for a particular client. This guy was into watches, and he had an e-commerce store where he was selling all sorts of men's watches. And he said, I need to find out. He was in the UK. I need to find out who are the biggest competitors of mine in this area. So all it required for me was to go in there and do my research. It's very basic, and you don't need a degree for it, but you must be systematic and chronological in your steps. What I did in this case was really understand what this guy does, and then know his attributes and how he gets to market, know the people that buy from him. And that was my criteria for identifying and sieving out whether someone was an actual competitor or was not even a competitor at all, but this is really wide. That's just one aspect of e-commerce. You will find NGOs out there that will pay over $1,000 for you to research and identify grants for them. I did this work when I was starting out. The task would be identify grants that are applicable to our organization. Seems like a simple task, but not very simple. But if you're able to do your research and find good probable companies, the beauty of this is that you're highly likely to be hired again to write a grant letter, or to put together a grant, or to be invited, because you are the one that has pulled in and matched these grant donors with these grant receivers in the first place. So it's a very good way to lock in and make your work long-term, because long-term is the goal to actually earning anything significant. That said, let me look at some web research work out there. Of course, once you finish watching my video that I'm going to post tomorrow on how to sign up, I would assume that that you have a good understanding of the various streams where you can make money online, tried and tested, I must add, because I never give you anything I haven't done myself. Second, you must have signed up for a Pioneer account, because you want to get paid. What's the use of working and you can't get paid? You don't want to go too far down and realize you can't get paid. That was a rookie mistake I made, and for almost a year, I couldn't earn my money. It was sitting there. I had no options. I had already done the work, wasted time. Eventually, I got to know how to transfer that money, but it was sitting for a year, right? So I assume you would have followed my video on how to sign up for Pioneer. Then, following on the back of this video or this live stream, I will be discussing how to sign up for Upwork. Please endeavor to watch that video and actually follow it and sign up for Upwork. We don't want to leave anybody behind. So let's see, web research. Sometimes it could be referred to as internet research. Yeah, there are a number of things. So this particular person is looking for a virtual assistant stroke web research. So again, we have virtual assistant or assistants as one of our areas that you can start out with without having a degree. But web research is what we're really looking for. And they'll go hand in hand. You see, someone will look for data entrant, and will also look for someone who can do web research. Searching for a specialist for a simple yet lengthy web research stroke information section project comprising of around 80 hours. Essential English or Spanish is important to speak with the group or for the exploration. So, for example, some very common tasks would be, I need to find out the CEOs of 5 different companies. They'll give you a list of companies, and a client will say to you, I need you to find me the name and email address of these particular CEOs or CFOs or any of that stuff. A quick tip for you, if you ever go down this route, is to start out from LinkedIn. LinkedIn will tell you a lot of stuff. Or the other thing would be to search the person's name with quotations around it in Google, right? I'll show you an example. So if I want to find out who the minister or who the ministers in Uganda are, right? I could just put in quotes, Uganda's ministers. So what this does with quotes in Google, it will always bring out specifically only that search criteria. And immediately I'll see full list of Ugandan ministers and stuff like that. It could be, and it's very recent because that's 2021. So whatever you are ever tasked to search, try that out because now you see the difference. When I search without the quotes, I get a lot of stuff, but with the quotes, I go direct to what I need to see. But there's lots of work there. It's very tedious, it's very meticulous, but it pays and it's long-term and it gets you started. Remember, our emphasis is that you earn your first $100. All right, moving on to virtual assistants. Now, this is one of the most earning jobs, but really competitive. And now I advise that by the time you apply for this, you probably tried your hand at all the previous things we've done, because the key item or the key differentiator for a virtual assistant, you must be able to know a wide range of things. In other words, when you are a virtual assistant to a CEO or a big company person, they expect you know the how. If they say to you, I want you to present a PowerPoint, you're not going to ask, how do I present a PowerPoint? If they say to you, I want you to do to send out mail invites or calendar invites, they expect you know. So again, in the future, I will list down a number of soft skills that you really need to know how to do for you to really be good at virtual assistants. Because as you can imagine, it's quite wide. I'll show you virtual assistant. Let's look for some work out there and see what's available. We land on the first one. This guy, this particular client has spent $80,000. They're located in Hong Kong, and they have verified payment. So there's almost a guarantee that you will get paid. Yeah, virtual assistant. Manage job posts across hiring platforms, calculate sales data, manage candidates onboarding and information, address employee administrative queries. So you can tell that from just this person really wants you to be an all-rounder. Yeah. Marketing VA. VA is again an acronym for virtual assistant. The work will consist of the following: weekly scheduling of Instagram, Facebook posts. That's social media marketing. They expect that you must be able to do that. Input MailChimp newsletters, content into templates. Again, MailChimp comes up, you must know email marketing and or at least have an understanding of it. Publish blog posts on WordPress. So again, you must have some good understanding of WordPress, how to post, how it works. WordPress is a website, is a website developer and stuff. So you can put your stuff out there, but it's really friendly because it has a customer-facing interface. So you don't have to really know coding to be able to use WordPress. Share posts with Facebook groups. This will not include content production. So the beauty of this, you won't be the one creating the content. You just distribute it. The content would be produced by the business owners and you just have to publish it. This content, the most content production you would have to do is to input content inside a Canva template. So there you are. This person is looking for a VA, marketing VA, but as you can tell, there are so many soft skills in there. Look at this one, email finding. They want you to be a virtual assistant, but then a big aspect of it is internet research. I have a list of 100 construction companies. name, address, we need to hire someone who can help us finding their valid emails. I gave you this example. So all these things come together, and that's what really makes a good VA. So start acquainting yourself. You don't even have to join and try out these platforms. Just type it in. If it has a free version, sign up with it. Just poke around. It helps a lot that you can speak the same language with a client. Do you know what Asana does? Do you know what Trello does? Do you know what Monday does? All these things, if you can at least recognize them and have had something about it, that's a start. And once you do one job, you'll find that you'll get paid experience to learn about all the others. So keep that in mind as well. I think we're almost done here. There's software testing, which is similar to what we saw in Amazon Tax. There's a number of firms, software firms out there that will say to you, test our website. They'll give you instructions on how to test their website. Test the speed. How long does it take to load? Are you able to get redirected? All that is fairly straightforward. The beauty with that is it will always have very, very clear instructions. Not sure whether we'll have any here. Probably do, because there are hundreds and hundreds and thousands of jobs on Upwork every single day. Software testing. So a lot of them will be, like I said, software. So either a developer or need quality assurance manager. Now, as a quality assurance manager, your job is to test. Look at this. Looking for a QA expert who knows what all the responsibilities of a QA are, who can write test cases and create test plans. Now, you don't have to know all this. Sometimes all you have to do before you apply is, you see they're asking about writing test cases. All you have to do is go to Google and write how to write great software test cases. There, the internet is your friend. Utilize it. Just as you up for every job you want to apply for or you come across, you should know about 60 or 70% of the stuff they're talking about in there. And not having done it, just know what it's about. Know a thing or two about it. That helps a great deal. So again, you see, they talk about the things. You can even just put in samples, and they will actually show you what those samples are. Really, so you don't need a degree from a university. You just need a degree from Google, because probably has all the stuff you will need in there. The last one is project or task management. This is a function of a virtual assistant, but if it's project management, it's right up there. And now you're starting to convert into specialized work. If you're a good project manager, even if it's just task management, if you can get people to do work, if you're very good at prioritizing stuff, and you don't miss your calendars, you don't miss your appointments, and you're really good at taking a lot of information, organizing it into deliverables and action points, that can be your kind of work. And project management or task management. I'll quickly look at it, and then we'll have a Q&A. Project management. So again, now you're starting to move up the ladders, and it doesn't mean you'll only apply for this work once you've built like 2,000 hours or stuff like that. No, as you keep getting acquainted, also go for stuff you enjoy, right? For example, I wouldn't go for something to do with art review, because I don't review a lot of art. I wouldn't know what to say. It all looks the same to me. But if I enjoy creative writing, if there's stuff about analytics, I play to my strengths. So always look out for that. And reading through this stuff, you'll start to know where you lean. And chances are even your friends can tell you where you lean, or you even know right now what you enjoy, what you do flawlessly and what takes you a bit of work to do. So I used to do creative writing, but it used to take a huge toll on me because I had to think, I had to be in the right mood, have no noise around me. It used to really exhaust me way more than what analyzing figures would do for me. So find yourself, play to your strengths, and you'll always have that edge. You'll be more natural and do things a lot more effortlessly. So that brings us to the 10 different things that you can do on Upwork that don't require a degree. Now we're going to go into our Q&A. I'll share, let me share again the whole list of those. This way, you can look at them even as we go, or as you ask your questions. So we'll open up for a Q&A. We already looked at that. Okay, so let's get going with our Q&A. And again, I encourage all of you to take time and watch all the videos. The essence of this is never really to for you to just consume this information. I've designed this out to go step by step. So make sure that you don't fall off the path. So by this stage, please watch those videos, know the various streams available, not sign up or sign up for, actually not know how to sign up for a Pioneer account, watch that video, get acquainted with it. After that, tomorrow I'll be sharing on how to sign up on Upwork. So again, get yourself acquainted with that, and then we get going. So for every single step, by the end of next week, let's make sure that you have an Upwork account. It won't be fancy, nothing special, nothing too unique, but it will be a place to start. You can only improve on what already exists. So I'm going to take a pause. I think Winnie, you had a few questions. So let's have those questions. I'll just pause for a moment, and then I'll start addressing the questions that many of you may have as well. I'll stand by. Okay. Let's see what questions we have. Okay, just reading through. Winnie, you had a question. Please go ahead and ask. Okay. Debbie is saying she's looking forward to the video that gives tips on how to apply. Some of us keep trying, but unfortunately, never get in. Yes, the starting is never easy. But I have tips, and I even have, I believe I have some workarounds on how you can get hired. The interesting thing is that Upwork now has a new feature where it allows you to bring your own client to the team. That's a game changer, because remember, you might struggle to get accepted for someone who knows completely nothing about you, but for as long as you have people that you work with every day, you can even, it can't even just be a contract where you need to normalize doing everything online. If someone gives me a consultancy, says, hey, I want you to do A, B, C, D for me, I might as well say to them, that's all fine, but I would like to be paid through Upwork. So you can send them a link and they will sign up on Upwork and just pay you through Upwork. So now you are creator of your own luck to start with, because you're bringing your own client. He's going to pay you. If you do your work well, he's going to give you a great review. And there you go. So you can bring your own clients, but then also a big part of it is how to apply. Yeah. So keep that in mind, and you'll be able to, if you do it consistently, there are so many tips on how to stand out, how to pick the job you apply for wisely. There are so many aspects of that. So thank you very much. I think I'll stay for some more time. For those that have questions, as they come up, I'll speak to them. I see Namakula, thank you. Pleasure. I always like it when I get the feedback. And it's my pleasure that I can share. More importantly, I would even be more happy if we can take this journey together. India, the Philippines, this is a mainstream area now for them. A big part of their people work completely online because it helps you skip the constraint. Right now, we are constrained to our economies, we are constrained to our locations, people are looking to live and go abroad. But if you can achieve all that, stay here, work abroad, earn in dollars, I think it's a great compromise. It's an awesome fix. I'll just type out here that the floor is open. For questions. Thanks, Winnie. And it's an enjoyable one. It's daunting, but as you get the hang of it, it's very easy and simple. While I have you here, I'll just show you. Don't forget to hit subscribe to this channel and to also watch all our previous videos. I have a number of your emails, so I'll always, where I can, share out something about upcoming events. We do stream weekly, every Thursday at 8 p.m. All right, so Winnie has a query here, and she says, so I opened an Amazon Tech account, but it was denied. What do I do? Okay, so for those that were not with us last time around, Amazon Tech is an area where you do human intelligence tasks. So Winnie, I would need to know why it was rejected. Chances are that it was either along verifications, or it was because, remember, this is an Amazon platform. So chances you need to have you need to sign up on Amazon. And a lot of times, of course, they'll say you can't ship to Uganda, you can't ship to all that kind of thing. But if you sign up for that and verify your email, there should be no problem. So maybe you can share with me specifically what happened, or I'll put my email here. For any detailed assistance. Yeah, but it should be fairly straightforward too. I last opened up that a number of years back. I'll do you one and try to sign up again with a different account to see any trouble. And if people are running into this, I'll do a video for that in the future. So keep in mind, what you share with me directs what content I share with you or where I guide you. Osbert has a question. Hi, Edwin. If you already have an account on Upwork and has been dormant for some time, will it have any effect? So the thing you need to know about Upwork is its algorithm is sort of like Google. It searches for the most recent stuff or the accounts that have most activity. All you have to do is reactivate that account. But if it just sits there, you will not be doing too much on that account. You'll not be doing too much on that account. So to avoid the loop, I think for some, I'll just be answering straight in the chat. For the rest, I'll be speaking to. So Osbert, just make sure that you sign up, you reactivate that account, and you should have no effect. Okay. I'll just reply, Osbert. Okay. Lucas Carlos. His name sounds familiar. Is there a way I can send my pay to my local bank? Yes. So that's the other step that we are yet to go to. You can actually wire your money direct to your bank account, or you can link your Payoneer account to your bank account. On Upwork, one is cheaper than the other. Payoneer is cheaper to transfer money from Payoneer, from Upwork to Payoneer, and from Payoneer, from Payoneer to your account, as opposed to directly transferring. I think you lose about $30 or $40 with transferring money directly. And that answer was to Lucas, who was asking whether it's okay for him to send money direct to his local bank. Lynette is asking, do you ever contact possible jobs and market your work, or do you only just search for these jobs? And how can one market themselves? So the way Upwork is designed, they've sort of taken it away from the freelancers, which is a problem. And this is a response to Lynette. So in other words, Upwork, the way you can market yourself really is how your profile looks at a glance. Okay, I'll let me share my my Upwork profile really quickly. Where did I have it at? I think I have it somewhere. Okay, so again, this is addressing Lynette's question. How do you market yourself? They don't allow, because remember, the freelancers are the ones that are many and the clients are the few. So all of you have one goal to put word out there, but there are a number of differentiators on how you market yourself. I'll give you an example. Your profile must be really well written, okay? That's before you even get any work in, okay? You must be articulate. You must zero down to what it is that you want to do, okay? So in my case, and this changes from time to time depending on what I have bandwidth for. I'm an accountant, I'm a data scientist, I'm a virtual assistant. Nowadays, not even so much virtual assistant because I don't get the time for it. A lot of this work now, I don't do too much of why I only keep the old clients. But you must be able to speak out what you do. Don't put a sentence over here where say, I do the very best work in articles and no. Don't even add superlatives on there. Just put content writer, So the strategy around this, and this is how you really market yourself, is have a blend of easy entry work and also specialized work. As you can see, my easy entry work here is virtual assistant. But if someone wants a virtual assistant that is also top-notch at accounting or at analytics, then I get the edge. I get the best of both worlds. Don't just put data entrant, virtual assistant, web researcher. Well, you can if that's what you're really good at, but you want to show these people that A, you can do the really simple stuff, but you have the brain for the great stuff as well. Okay. And of course, how you write this really matters. Be articulate, be brief and concise. Use good language. When someone reads this, in a very short time, they must start to get a sense of who you are. Okay. They must start to imagine how it feels working with you, because no one wants to work with a robot. So you must be likable, even just from looking at your profile. Other things like, of course, being top rated plus help a great deal, showing that I've had 100% job success rate. These you can acquire with time. The number of hours, how much you've earned, those help, but not so much. Maybe the other thing I'll dedicate a full video to in it is how to apply. You only market yourself by how you apply for the work, because until you apply for a particular job, not many people are going to look for you. Maybe, of course, Upwork will have you in their top rankings. If you're really successful, or if you have a niche, they'll have you in their top ranking. Otherwise, no one is going to look for you if they don't have work for you. So how you apply for work will be a full dedicated video. But yes, there is a way for you to market. That's the way you market yourself. There is a new trend that is happening now, and I'm jumping onto it. So once I register significant success, I will share with you. You can't go on Upwork as a client. One thing we've realized is on Upwork, there's a lot of competition. For web development, everyone is just trying to be cheap to get the money. Of course, apart from the specialized work. But I'll tell you, for example, you get a very good web developer on Upwork to do your really good website, as opposed to getting one locally. So what people are starting to do, myself inclusive, we are now starting to look at the local market, or even international market, where we create a different or separate company, and we look for talent that is affordable on Upwork. I could promote myself as a content writer or a web a web marketeer, and then I get the work because I already have the team. The team doesn't cost me. It's different from a typical business model, because I only pay them when I'm getting paid. This is when I need them. So, Lynette, maybe the other approach you can look at is looking outside and leveraging the affordable and really top-notch labor on Upwork. They don't cost you until you start earning, but if you want them in, you pull them in, they'll probably charge you $10, $15 an hour. They can meet the client, they know what they're doing. You don't have to learn all that stuff. If I want to start a social media marketing team, I'll go on Upwork and look for people who are really good at Facebook, really good at Google Analytics, really good at search engine optimization. And then I can walk up to a company in Uganda or in Nairobi or in Rwanda and say, I can completely revamp your social media strategy. And I'll say, I'll probably charge you $2,000. Well, they'll have to test me for it. They say, okay, so what can you do? Put a proposal together. Guess what? I'll call in my guys that know everything, pay them $15 an hour, put that proposal together. It probably cost me $200 or $150 or whatever it will cost me, but it will look so good. It will be so good and executed so good. These entities will probably be paying me about $1,000 or $2,000 a month. So that's the other strategy. But aside from that, look good on Upwork, have a good profile, apply well, be memorable when you apply. I think hopefully that answers your question, Lynette. Let me go to another. Let me find another question over here. Okay. What do we have? And the accounts, I got the next question. I will send you an email with their feedback. Thank you. That was Winnie. Sorry, I'm just trying to quickly run through a lot of these to make sure that everybody gets good value. So I answered Lucas. I answered Michael. Yeah, I also opened an MTAG account, but was denied. I answered that. I answered Osbert. All right, guys. I think I'll answer the rest on chat, but keep active, keep asking. I've shared my mail. Whenever you're stuck, do ask. I also have an Instagram, Ed Talks. So be sure to reach me there as well, but subscribe. Please, please, please ensure that you subscribe so that you don't miss out on anything. Until then, thank you very much, and have a great, great evening.